The central premise of this exhibition is nothing other than being in the middle of it. And it's rather poetic, it's not really a premise. When I make work, I don't like starting with a premise and then illustrating what I'm thinking. I rather start ungrounded, so I don't know what I'm doing. I pick up material, I start messing with it, and I see what it tells me. And then the work grows from that collaboration. I call this series Resistance is Nurture, because in our modern life, and maybe having taught art for 20 years at university, you meet generations of people that try to steer away from any difficulty. But you have to struggle. The struggle in the work is what makes the work good. So I started modeling these 8 figures that I want to then up in quantity to about 16 to build a machine that tells the story. And I had to model each of them in first clay and then in plaster, cast them, and then I started with objects that represents the resistance. But then found I always might go back to stone, because stone is a collaborator that I can't create anything better than it. So the figure pushes through a cloud of stone, commits to it, has to push through, and then out on the other side, and then it sort of loops back and it starts again. And in a way, you know, if you stimulus seeking, maybe intellectually seeking, you pick up the next really difficult book and you fight your way through that. And through that we get cleverer, we grow stronger. You know, if you pick up the next heavy stone that you feel, oh, I can't, you know, you grow stronger. So the resistance to seeking, and maybe not the hedonistic trying to steer away from anything that's difficult, is the point here. Well, the choice of material stems from something I realized about 17 years ago. I was in New York in a conversation with somebody, and I thought there's certain things I see in my specifics of my surroundings that somebody that's living in New York does not see. And it's no use I try to speak about a universal philosophy that we all can delve into. There's certain specifics I need to share with others, and those specifics is better told in the specifics of my environment. So if I work with something that is unspecific, like bronze, that we've been using for 4,000 years, the material is not conveying any meaning. But if I take natural stone from my specifics, from the geology around me, I can say something in a language that's more apt to where I'm from, especially if it's natural and coarse and rough and not all dominated and polished and altered. The stone has something that the other materials does not. It has a depth of sort of meaning because it carries back so many years. The specific stone I'm using in this exhibition is mostly Belfast gabbro, which is older than 2 billion years, so 2,000 million years old. And this is from the largest igneous complex, largest sort of volcanic bubble underneath the surface ever, called the Bushveld complex. And it's 2 hours east from my studio. So working on scale has to do with what you have that others might not have. We have space, ample space in South Africa. It's vast and it's open. We have a climate, especially up here in the Highveld, where you can work outside the whole year and not die of the cold. So you don't need heating in your studio. We have abundant natural materials. We have wonderful people, a workforce willing and able to learn skills and work. So with all these aspects, the material, the space, the people, you can do things that somebody in a city somewhere in Norway can't do. And use what you have and make the music that only you can make, then brings to the fore that maybe you must make work that's a bit larger than what somebody can do in a flat in London. And I'm just using what I have. And I'm using material around me that I really love. The idea that you're not the source but the conduit is actually from a writer, Lewis Hyde, that wrote a book called The Gift. If you consider yourself the source is, in Hyde's words, quite limited. If you're a conduit, then the source is endless. So if you open yourself up as a collaborator with your material rather than the dominator, then when you go to a material with the inherent meaning, you can help that meaning to strengthen the meaning that it is you're trying to convey.